counter for the judges, for the mayor's office. Don't take a look at it before you leave, it's already on the wall. Todd came over and mounted it, put it up, did a great job on it. We still need to get a remote for it. But,
And a book.
And a book. Well, probably that's online, but we'll look, but we'll work on getting that money down. We'll have to find the bill before we bought it, so we can go back through the, get some.
Yeah, I had received it.
Okay. And Todd, is that everything you had to bring up?
The other thing I've got is
You mentioned something earlier that we
the
had.
parade. And
Yes, the parade. Okay,
The bush
that's
hog.
old business, that's okay. And bush hog. What about the bush hogging? That's new business.
Well, okay, we'll go ahead and knock that one out. Over to 208,
Now, is that the trailer, the old
That's the
trailer?
old trailer park. We had, I'm gonna call half the property bush hogged earlier in spring. And then we have a runoff creek bed, I guess you'd call it, and the whole back half is probably 4 or 5 feet tall now. I know we're gonna start aggressively looking to sell this thing. We need to burn that thing down to where we can stake it off. Whoever's looking at it, it's gonna have more curb appeal, and you're gonna be able to see exactly what it is you're buying.
So all we need to do is get somebody to bush hog the back end of it. Everybody good with that?
Yeah, we had talked about it before.
Okay, we'll check on that tomorrow. Bill, I don't know who did it the last, who did it the last night? Does anyone know? Who did?
Wasn't it Cat?
Billy Catlett, did he do it?
Yeah,
Why,
that's
we
it.
had to give them, all that.
Why?
Okay. Let's see if he's interested in doing the rest of
Are
it.
you gonna take bids on that?
I don't think it's gonna be enough to even come up to the level we're trying to bid. It probably costs more for the advertisement than the bidding.
I think he did the last one for like $125. It's gonna,
Well, we have a friend that also owns a bush hog, but
Well,
so,
I'd be happy to hear anybody that wants to.
okay,
you know,
he might
call.
give you a better price.
Tell him to call, we'll take the
I
best
will.
price we can get. Okay, anything else, Todd?
I'm done.
We
Pinning, I'm sorry, I noticed your pinning and stakes, you're gonna stake it afterwards, you discuss.
Yeah, 'cause there's no way we'd find those wooden stakes.
Well, I don't know, I think JD said he knows where they are.
Yeah, last time we discussed.
He did, and he talked about putting up stakes, and I saw him preparing some stakes, so I'll talk with him about the staking tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely need to be found before it gets bush hog, because it will be gone once it's bush hog.
Okay, his timesheets, you wanna put that off and distribute those later? That's number D, that's D under B.
Yeah, I've been meaning to scan those, save them to the file, and then of course email them to everybody so they have a copy.
Everybody good with that? Just gonna email everybody the timesheets?
That's
I
fine.
think I'll put the action for the.
Equipment purchase request, JD has, excuse me, talked to me about the need to get some new weed eaters, 2 new weed eaters. He said the ones that we have, I think he said he's had since 2010 or something like that. I can't imagine a weed eater lasting that long, but he says they have. He says they're smoking pretty badly. And he got some estimates. How much were the estimates? Do you have those?
For 2 of the commercial sides, they were like $649 total. I cost compared them online to a couple of websites, and it's actually up bid locally from B&D Motors.
Yeah.
Very competitive with online pricing I saw, so it's a good rate.
And they're commercial, site,
And that's from B&B.
yeah,
And they'll be more likely to fix them quicker if they ever go down.
exactly.
They're good weed eaters. I mean, they steel shaft, it's,
Okay. Is there a motion on that? Anyone care?
Can I add to that real quick?
Well, let's do a motion and then we'll open it for
All right.
discussion. So does anybody have a motion on it? Yes, motion to purchase?
Next from first.
Okay, motion.
I'll
Jamie,
second it.
Second by Paula, floor is open for questions, go ahead.
Actually, you know, his lawnmower, I mean, how often are those blades sharpened on that thing? And wouldn't it be smart to put that in now before?
I talked to him about the lawnmower. He has changed practically everything on it. He's almost got a new lawnmower except for the chassis, honestly. He's changed blades, he's done bearings, he does that himself. He has not, I take mine up there every year and turn it over to B&D, and they they redo mine, but he does it all, and so he has not seen the need at this point to replace it.
Okay.
And speaking of equipment, and I'm sorry, I didn't even think about this, the former Mayor Patton said that he's working on a inventory of all the city equipment. Does anybody know how that's coming?
I didn't know that, but I can ask him.
Okay,
I know he's working on it, but I've not seen a document.
okay.
Well, I noticed that we bought some kind of saw in the,
Yeah, it was just a
I'm
little.
gonna guess that
Let's,
was.
let's finish the weed eaters, and then we'll go to saws or whatever else we need. Okay, so any further discussion on that? We got a motion second on the floor.
Somebody said.
I seconded it.
Olson?
Yes, I got a motion second. Any further discussion? Okay, we'll call the vote. Danny?
Yes.
yes.
Jennifer, yes. Joe, yes. Todd, yes.
Yes.
Michelle, yes or no? Yes. Good. Okay, all yes. Let's see, I wanted to bring this one up and just see your all's feelings on this. We don't have to make decisions on this, but the next item is that SUV that's sitting out here. It gets used very sparingly. What's your all's, I just want to get your take on a thought for a moment. Do we want to keep that thing? Do we not want to keep that thing? We're paying taxes. I mean, we're not paying tax, we're paying interest. Insurance on it. I don't see it as a necessity, to be honest with you. So I'm going to open the floor for a moment. If anyone has a motion concerning that, and then open for discussion, doesn't mean we're going to do it, but would anybody care to call for a motion that we dispose of that SUV?
I'll call for a motion. I
Okay.
agree. It's sitting,
Is your motion to dispose of it
it
by
is,
sale?
it is. My motion is to
We
dispose.
have a procedure that we'll follow in order to do that. The motion by Paula, is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Todd. Floor is open for discussion. Yes or no? How's anybody feel? Let council do it first, and then anybody else have anything that they wish to say concerning, you want to keep it, you want to sell it?
Yeah, do you ever use it?
Very rarely. If I go to Florence, I'll use it. But Jim and I talked about it, doing special trips we have to make, we need to pay mileage for our personal vehicles, so
Right.
I'm not.
We have it in place now, a way to reimburse someone for the use of a personal vehicle. And frankly, I think that'd be much more cost effective. You know, you know how cars go down.
Right,
You know, I'm not talking bad about the car people, but still, they get a lot cheaper every year.
yeah.
Any other discussion on it? You wanted to say something?
You answered it, never mind.
Okay. All right, then ready for a vote? Okay, the motion is to dispose of the vehicle. All right, sell it. And we have procedures to do that, and we'll go through that procedure. Danny, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Yes. Michelle? Yes. Okay, all yes. Okay, Westlaw subscription, I want to bring this up to you because it's a good deal. Right now, you know, we don't have a city attorney. I think I've told everybody that the former city attorney is no longer our attorney. I checked today with Westlaw, and for those of you, you know what Westlaw is, right? It's access to the law of the state of Kentucky. It gives access to the Attorney General's opinions, the statutes, the annotated statutes, case decisions. It's comprehensive. It's probably the most expensive one you can get. There are others out there, but it's also the best one, and there's a reason that they're expensive. I'm familiar with it enough to be able to utilize it on behalf of the city. It's right now the cheapest I've ever seen it. The gentleman sent me an agreement today, which I can look at. His name is, I can't remember his name offhand, but he's a Westlaw rep. It'd be $60 per month. If and when I change jobs, by that he means when I quit being mayor, although it would be a 2-year obligation, if and when I quit, the contract terminates. So the city is not going to be stuck with it. It will be in my name, because if it's in a government name, instead of being $60 a month, it's like $220 a month. But since I'm still a member of the bar, he says he can put it in my name for $60. I would put it in my name, but I'm going to expect the city to pay the bill if we take this. Okay, so it'd be $60 a month during the time that I remain as mayor or available to use it. It doesn't have to quit just because I would quit being mayor, but it would need someone who really understands it a bit to be able to use it. Not everybody can just get on and do it. So with that being said, I think it would be beneficial to the city to have, but I leave it to your discretion if you want to do that. Is there a motion that we allow me to contract for that service?
I'll first it.
Money well spent. I'll second it.
Second, all right, any discussion now on that motion? All right, ready for a vote, Danny?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Michelle?
yes,
Unemployment insurance hearing disposition, you all should have a copy of it, I think. That refers to the unemployment claim that was, I'm sorry, I'm getting drained. So it's taking my voice, but the unemployment insurance, that claim that was filed by Megan when she left the employment of the city, was set for hearing before an administrative judge one day last week, I think, wasn't it? 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, Sean.
It was a Wednesday before Thanksgiving,
Okay.
the 23rd, 24th.
I participated in the hearing, but to make this long story short, Megan did not enter an appearance, so the judge has dismissed the claim. All right, so the city's not being charged for that portion. Okay, so that's over. On the city's decorating, item I, I've asked Paula to take a look at this going forward, not only for Christmas, we got a late start on that, but for different, various holidays during the year, and to just keep the city up to date and stay on top of that as we go forward concerning things that need to be done or can be done to look for grants, to just do whatever she can to assist beautification of the city. Paula?
I reached out to a company by the name of Decor Group of Northern Kentucky, and you all should have gotten emails on this. They wanted around $2,900, that's a ballpark figure, to put lights on the city building and to decorate the city sign. That was just for the city sign. This year, I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't find it reasonable as of right now. And for decoration for Christmas right now, Todd and I believe Danny and Lee Burton, the fire chief, are working on coming together and doing the city building ourselves and purchasing lights, which I thought we already had, but apparently we don't. But that's basically it. Now, here's what I do have for decorations. I am already gonna start working on the 4th of July decorations. The budget would have to be amended. I will get estimates on that. But if you approve, what I'd like to do is reach out to some of the businesses in Crittenden, and let's say somebody really goes all out and decorates and get the community involved to where maybe we could get Wolf Steel. I mean, this is just throwing it out there. Wolf Steel to donate a grill, and maybe some of the others, monies for gift cards, just to kind of pull the community together and see what we could do. I would like to get a quote from Decor Group on decorating the city building, because guys, these decorations are not, I mean, they're really expensive. Really expensive. Some of the Christmas decorations were up to $475, and that's just for the decoration. Now, with Decor Group, they would come in, decorate, and then when the holiday's over, they'd come in and remove it also. But you've got to remember, we're not purchasing those items, those decorative items. They would be like rented to the city. And I just want your input on it and what you think. I want to know what you think.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? She's just now getting started, so don't put her on the spot yet, but she's going to be coming back to us from time to time. She's also got a lady I know she's reached out to at the KLC that's going to be assisting her in looking for grants, that sort of thing, to do what we can as far as upgrading just the look of the downtown, especially the downtown. But I think we'll just wait until you come back with some concrete numbers and recommendations, that sort of thing. And then we can move from there. If we need to amend the budget, we will from that point.
Well, KLC gave me a lot of good numbers because believe it or not, they do come up with grants for beautification also, even beautification of parks. So, but his suggestion was to me to probably wait until after the first of the year because so much more will be available to us.
Okay. Other questions for Paul?
So we are not doing lights for Christmas?
We are doing lights for Christmas. You're gonna help.
Do we,
We're not gonna be doing it professionally.
do we
Right.
still have the 250 in beautification?
It was 500 minus Thanksgiving, yes.
I don't know.
With the balance,
How much
yeah.
is in there?
I'm not sure. All of
It should be on your, it should be on your.
It is, we still have 250.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
So with a quick run through Amazon, it was measured, we needed about 250 feet of light.
Chief did that for us, yeah.
And, thank you, sir. And with Amazon at $34.99 for each 50 feet, comes out to $174.95. They can be delivered on Friday and put up Friday.
The C9s, the type,
C9,
See,
white.
wow, that's great.
That is great.
I priced them out elsewhere, like, a lot more than that. It's great.
how much were they, please?
$34.99 a string with 50 feet.
String of 50 feet.
I wish we knew somebody could run a hook and ladder, man.
If we have a ladder truck somewhere in the city,
That includes the delivery, shipping.
if I order it at time, it'll be covered.
So what would be the total?
$174.95 plus tax.
Are you wanting to make that a form of motion that we purchase those?
That's what I'm making.
A motion by Todd, is there a second?
Ooh, I'll second
by
it.
Paul. All right, those, any discussion on that motion? Steve, you have a question?
Suggestion, sir.
Mhm.
Instead of specifically pointing out lights for purchase right now, may I suggest Big Lots?
That was checked today, they've had none, and they don't know when they're gonna get them. I said, JD there today.
Because they've got the one there and the one in Lexington. And Big Lots and Walmart had the roll of 100 foot of the big honking beautiful outdoor lights. And they were doing them for like $21
He
for
also
100
went to
foot.
Walmart today, and they're out.
I called Home Depot, Lowe's, 2 Walmarts, Target, they were all out of lights.
It's that Hanukkah decorating.
I know, I can't help it.
They pulled everything for this year, so if we're gonna do anything this year, this is our route. Motion second on the floor, any further questions?
Oh,
As long as I keep it in the beautification range.
We gotta figure up a new word, because I looked up that word in the dictionary and it doesn't exist, okay? So we gotta call it something else besides beautification.
I just want to say thank you all for doing that. I think that's wonderful. Here we are, you know, at a time when everybody's depressed and down and, you know, it's just a good time to do this and I appreciate y'all working on it. And getting it for this price, I mean, cheap.
A lot cheaper than the price of the company to come in and
Yeah.
put them up and take them
It's
down.
amazing what
we
you've done.
we couldn't do it without Todd and Chief. There's no way. I
It's
would have
amazing
done
what
it.
y'all done in a week.
Are we ready to vote? We ready to vote on that
Let's
motion?
vote.
That's fine.
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Joe?
Absolutely.
Todd?
Yeah.
Paul? Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries.
Is there a way that I can get on that committee with you all for beautification?
Girl, you come on over here, we can have you on here.
The chief's gonna need some help in the
Okay,
bucket.
the city attorney,
Yay!
the city attorney status, as you know, we no longer have a city attorney at this moment. I think everybody on count on. You all are familiar with Brandon. He was the gentleman who represented us, his partners, and he may have more, I don't know, but one of his partners' name is Jackie Atland. I know that gentleman quite well. They have submitted their requirements if we were to consider them, and so take this for what it's worth. If you wish to consider them, their retainer for a city is $1,200 a month. That covers everything, including meetings, if you wish to do that. It does not cover litigation. Of course, you're not going to find anybody that covers litigation, that's going to be separate all the way. Or $150 an hour. Now you can consider, and that does not have a retainer with it as well, so it's simply on an hours work basis. I think Probably. In the long run, I would go with the hours, but that's up to you to look at. I would also caution you this way, attorneys sell their time, that's how they make money. So if we do this and we do it with the hour, we need to work through the mayor to allow the mayor to talk with the attorney. Because every time you call him, he's gonna write it down. He should write it down, that's his business. And when he writes it down, it's gonna be either 10 or 15 minutes, that's the shortest time they write down. So you can see that that would add up pretty quickly. So if there's something going on that the mayor can assist with, call the mayor. If I need to get with the attorney, I'll get with the attorney, depending on which way you want to go, okay? So does anyone wish to move on that tonight, or you wish to consider it? It's up to you.
Just, excuse me, point of clarification, does travel to these meetings count as hours?
It would. The moment they leave their office, the clock's going to start,
Would they need to come to our caucus meetings?
not unless we're invited. Depends on how you do it. If you do it on a retainer basis, you may as well, because it's not going to cost any more or any less. If you do it on an hourly basis, no. I would suggest the answer to that would be no. In most instances, unless we're in some, really sticky place where we have to have them. But if the things are flowing through the mayor, that hopefully we can keep that cost as low as possible.
Which one would we be getting?
Either or both, whichever one happens to be, because one of them, well, they both represent dry ridge as well.
Jointly?
Well,
Same firm.
I'm sure one of them they don't both go together.
Okay.
One of them will go one time, one go the other, depending on what the other one's doing, but yes.
We had, 4 meetings last month? Don't you think that if we ran into where we had to have special meetings, maybe because of Oakwood or whatever, that it would be pertinent that they be here and that the $1,200 a month?
We would need to consider that, probably not, in every instance, no. If you look at this stuff.
That's 20 hours a week, right? 80 hours a month. 80 hours a month for 150 is $1,200, right? So our current budget is about $900 a month. Past attorney, the 20 hours a week. Even if you had 3 meetings in 1 week, say it's 3 hours per, that's 9 hours. I don't see you getting 20 hours a week.
And
But you also gotta have travel, too.
No, I agree, but 3 meetings a week is a lot.
And not only that, a lot of these contracts you won't find are standard contracts, and you don't really need a lawyer every time to do one of those.
We do have a lawyer.
You do have now available at the moment, yes.
For free.
Well, I'm making.
Is that minimum 6 month
He's gonna
agreement?
start
No,
Agreement?
it's an hourly payment.
Month to month?
Okay, so retainers month to month or how they go over?
Now, if we do a retainer, of course, it's gonna be at least a month.
Yeah,
You know
month to
that.
month, gotcha.
But if you do it on the hourly, I'm sure it's as needed.
I think we need to risk it on the hour.
Okay, is there a motion then that we consider it?
Joe has a question.
Yes.
Well, building on what Todd said, can we take the hourly for a test drive, and if we see we're
We
blowing
could always ask them to look into it. Now, of course, they're not stupid.
Sure.
If we start wearing them out, they're not gonna come back and say, oh, yeah, I'll do it.
But now it's less than that, yeah, I hear you.
So is there a motion or would you like to submit on this and come back at the next meeting with a motion, however you all want to do it tonight?
I'll make a motion, we go on the hourly rate.
Make a motion that we approach Volker and Gatlin with an hourly rate of $150 an hour.
I second it.
Motion. Second by Dan.
Can I ask
Floor's
something?
open for discussion. Anything else from the council?
They've got to do all the motions first, before they can open it for discussion.
That's just a point of discussion. We really had 2 attorneys in the budget before, now we're down to 0. We're talking about going to 1. We really got budget coverage at least through the next 6 months.
Yes.
Really, that's true. So
That's
even if we blow the decision tonight, we'd have to blow it times 2 to,
Right.
That's true. Other discussion? Danny? You have discussion? Yes.
If you have a meeting once a month and they have to come, wouldn't the $1,200 be cheaper? Because then it takes it down to $100 per meeting.
They don't have to be.
Not necessarily, because that depends on what you're contacted through. No, not really.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have something?
I was just gonna say that at $1,200 a month and $150 an hour, that's only 8 hours.
Yeah.
So you go more over 8 hours a month, 1,200's your better deal.
Yeah, I think so.
So
But
with
see, they don't.
2 meetings with travel time,
This will slow
That's the
it down.
reason I say if we do this, we want to run everything to the mayor, and then we'll see how it works. Okay, the motion is by Todd, someone seconded.
Danny seconded it.
Danny seconded. Okay, ready to vote? Danny?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
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 Michelle?
I would like to abstain from this.
Okay, well, you realize that's a vote with a majority. You realize that's a vote with a majority
I
since it's.
can go ahead with it, I just would prefer to not to, one way or the other.
Okay. With that, yes, which means.
Motion
Okay, oh yes, we have a request from a city resident sitting over there in the corner that we add a street lamp at the bottom of Sayre Street. Now, everybody knows where Sayre Street is, right? Is that right, Sayre? Everybody knows where Sayre Street is? Yes?
So, the street by the post office that goes down towards the laundromat.
We got one at each end of it, and he says that the one, that the down the bottom of the hill, that it ponds down there sometimes, when it rains hard.
Every time it rains, it basically ponds up down there every time it rains, because it's just, first off, that area catches all the water off US 25 from Harlan Street to Sayre Street. All that water comes into that two drains and dumps onto Sayre Street. It's a very, very poor design.
I will say this, there's been some problems, I know that the property down there is sold.
Yes,
There was a 506 foot, I think it is, drain that I've spoken to the gentleman who bought it, that they have cleaned. It's a 16 inch, I think, 16 or 18 inch drain, that's going to help a whole lot in keeping that water from pond.
it's still ponded last time.
It will some, but that's gonna help it some.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I know that they're trying to do as much as they can to take care of that problem,
Mhm.
because they have that same problem on their property.
Absolutely, absolutely. They've made a great improvement of that property. They really have.
All right, does everybody understand where we are with the lights? Anybody have a question on it, or anybody want to move on tonight? You want to look at it, you want to drive in there and see what's going on, or how do you wish to proceed at this point?
With the subdivisions back there and the amount of kids that are walking and uses that as a shortcut to get to the park, I'm very familiar with that road, and it's black.
Okay,
And
does that mean you have a motion?
I vote to proceed with it.
Todd's motion is to look into the feasibility of putting a light there?
Well, I would say Duke would put it in.
Yes, but your motion is to look into the feasibility of causing that to occur, right?
Correct.
Okay,
I second it.
We've lost a council person here, let's give Paul a moment.
Is the power on? I'm assuming the power on Duke poles back in that road, on that road?
Yeah.
Power's on poles?
I know I've looked at that pole and I know it has a transformer on it, and I'm gonna need to find out if that's gonna make a difference on mounting lights. So, but anyway, we can ask them.
Do I need to abstain from that?
We don't. No,
Okay.
It's not your property.
No. I just want to do what's right.
That's the case.
But there are, I'm so glad you brought that up about the kids, because I'm worried about those kids.
I had some slip up on it right through there.
okay, we're back, you ready to
Ready
vote
to
at this
look
point?
into it?
Sorry, you're ready, Dan, yes or no?
Yes.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Michelle?
Yes,
Okay. Only yes. Okay, moving on now to, no, I'm sorry, we do have a couple more things that I've added. The post office. The post office, you all have these things that have been printed out. These 2 sheets, take a look at that. And I'm gonna talk first about that one that looks like a slab that's got the wire in front of it. Want to see that? That slab that you're seeing there is what you walk on to go in the door. And this portion down here, which I know it's gonna be difficult to get on camera, but underneath it is washing out badly. And it's allowing that, it looks like, that may move. I can't tell if it's moving or it's just been crooked when it was put up there. But any of it, if that continues, I believe that's that's the what holds this slab up that you step on, that you walk on, yeah. So I believe we need to address that situation by allowing me to get somebody to take a look at that and give us an estimate of what it's gonna cost to dig that out, maybe put a footer under it for a wall, whatever needs to happen, to keep that slab from falling down. Now, everybody understand the situation that we're looking at there? Okay. Let's see if there's a motion on, there is open for discussion. Is there a motion that we consider? Yes, by Paula, second by Jennifer. All right, floor is open for discussion. Who wants to say, address it?
I've got one thing to add to this. Mayor Patton and I went and we were in the basement of the post office in the senior citizen center. They had just put in, within a year of us being there, they just put in new ductwork. And directly under this, if you're in the basement, all that new ductwork is almost rusted through again.
Holy.
And we came to this point of, it's going straight between the building and getting into that ductwork.
And it's
Just
washing
tearing
the
it up.
foundation out of it too. So-
Well, that's the downspout right there between the door and the corner, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't run it that way, or you.
Well,
That's probably why it's
the
forcing it out.
downspout's there.
Downspout's going through.
No, that's the chain link post.
No, right here.
Is that the chain link post?
Right here.
Oh,
That's
no.
not a chain link post.
That's the back of the dumpster, that catches the
No,
lid.
no, baby.
It is?
That big pipe right there, that's the downspout.
Well, even if it is water, you can see water comes out all along there. So,
Yeah.
to me, that needs to be addressed
The drainage issue.
before that comes down, and the foundation.
And the foundation, both of them.
Okay, further discussion on that part of it?
Let's do that.
Everybody good with those? Okay. Danny, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Jennifer? Joe? Todd? Michelle, I know you can't see it,
Yes.
but do you understand enough about it to understand what we're talking about?
Yeah, Adam zoomed in for a minute so I could see part of the picture.
Okay. So you're good with it?
Yes.
Okay. The next picture, oh, yes. The next picture you have is on the door. Everybody, Adam, can you see that thing?
If you give me a second, once it refocuses. There we go, I'm good.
Got it? All right. This is the door that you see if you drive up to the front of the building. And if you park in front of it, like you're gonna walk into the door going in where the mailboxes are, to go to your left where they bring all the mail into it. It's been leaking under that door, water, because of the way it's, the way it's set right now. The door, if you can look, you can't tell it in this picture, but the top right corner of that door is much closer to the jamb than the left corner. It's, in other words, it's crooked. And it's crooked because I think it's too old. It's been there a long time. I went down there with J.D., we took a look at it, and one of the things that he's looking at is perhaps putting a door, a frame in this entire enclosure as you're walking up to it, eliminating that second door, putting a jamb down here that will stop the water before it gets into that structure. Also being able to utilize then the power cabinet, which is to the left, make it more available to use